beauties, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my full review and a few application tips of Giorgio Armani's new Power Fabric foundation. It's the foundation that I'm wearing right now, and I believe this launched a few months ago, maybe like early January, but I personally just discovered it, and I figured if I just found out about this amazing foundation, then surely there are other makeup lovers and makeup enthusiasts out there who haven't really heard much about it. So I was really inspired to do this video for you guys because truthfully, this has been the only foundation that I've been picking up and wearing recently. So this amazing product deserves some recognition. So first off, I want to start off by telling you the basics about this amazing foundation. As you can see, glass bottle, black top. It looks identical to its more popular sister, the Luminous Silk foundation, which I feel like pretty much everybody on planet Earth has heard of. Giorgio Armani's Luminous Silk foundation. It's loved by beauty bloggers. It's the #1 high-end foundation actually on the market. It's got light to medium coverage, and it's got a dewy finish. So truthfully, even though it is so popular, it's not really for everybody, and personally I've never been able to wear it because on the one hand, I like a little bit more coverage, but also I have combination skin, so anything that's dewy or oily is just not for me. So I was very excited to hear about this foundation, and especially when I read that the Power Fabric actually has a matte finish, it's full coverage, it's got SPF 25, and it's a long wear, up to 16 hours, which is pretty incredible. It comes in 20 shades, and I will tell you guys, the shade range is really incredible. So Luminous Silk actually comes in 24 shades. That's okay. With these 20 shades, you are going to get lots of very, very light shades to medium to tan, tan to dark, and dark shades. It's a really nice range. It's not like other brands or other foundations where you get a good portion of light shades and then there's maybe like 1 or 2 dark shades. I think Chanel is kind of guilty of that. There's not a lot of kind of middle dark shades. So the range is really nice. Pretty much everybody I think could find their color, and especially with a full coverage foundation, it's important to have a nice match. You can have a little wiggle room actually with a dewy or a lighter foundation because your skin is going to show through. So you're going to have kind of a mixture of your natural color anyways. Whereas with this foundation and any sort of full coverage foundation, it's important to have a good match. It's important to have a good match with any foundation, but you know what I mean. If it's full coverage, it better match your neck, it better match, your body. And I think 20 shades is it's a really nice range. So according to Armani, this is best suited for anybody with uneven skin tone or people who want full coverage. And for that matter, anybody who likes a matte finish, like myself. So just like Luminous Silk, this is a $64 price point. As I've been using it, a little bit goes such a long way, which is very different from other formulas of a long wear foundation that I'm used to. Usually it takes like a good pump, or at least with a full coverage foundation, you imagine that it's kind of thicker and you need a little bit more, but not with this because it is, it's definitely a fluid. It's not a super thin foundation. It's thin enough that when it goes on, it covers a lot of area and a lot of, space on your face with just a small amount. So it will last you a very long time. But I want to read you a little bit more about the technology. And I'm going to read this from my phone because I'm not going to remember everything about this foundation. But I think it's important to know, especially when it comes to high-end foundations, usually there's a lot of work put into it and a lot of details that you can miss. So this technology has microfill, so it's an exclusive milling process which allows for maximum coverage with minimal feel, which I will definitely say is true. There's an eye tint high pigment technology which provides full coverage for 16 hours. Again, I can attest to that. It is definitely long wear. Maestro time releasing oils give a second skin lightweight finish. And then there's transparent gellifier, which prevents product from settling into lines and imperfections. So that, I will say, is definitely true, and it's one of the reasons I love this foundation. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm very self-conscious about my smile lines and these little fine lines around my eyes. And the concealer that I've been using, I haven't changed my concealer. With other foundations, it creases really bad on me. I don't like this concealer. I'm trying to use it up because I don't want to throw it away. I'm just, you know, strange like that. But with the Power Fabric foundation, I actually can use the exact same concealer I've been using, and it doesn't settle into any of the fine lines around my eyes. So another reason why I absolutely love this foundation. If you want something that's full coverage, you don't mind a matte finish, and you want something that's long wear, I think you will absolutely love the Power Fabric foundation. Now, if you like a matte finish, you're going to love this foundation. You don't need to do anything different. Just apply as you usually would and you'll be fine. But I like to fake the appearance of radiance. So it's kind of my luminous silk hack. And what I've been doing is I've been going in first with my Laura Mercier Radiance Primer. And there are a ton of great radiance primers on the market. You certainly don't have to use Laura Mercier. This is just the one that I've been using. So I will go on first with my primer, which also helps the appearance of your long wear foundation. Of course, you know, it's 16 hours of wear, but using a primer like this is going to help it look its absolute best during those 16 hours. And then I've also been mixing in, and this is my favorite trick with any foundation, but I've been mixing in a liquid illuminator. Again, there are a million on the market. Nars has a really good one. Who else? Oh, well, there's just a bunch. But this is the Soleil Tan de Chanel Sheer Illuminating Fluid in Sunkissed. So you mix in a little bit of this into your foundation, and it's going to, again, add a little bit of radiance without adding any oil to your foundation. And I believe this product itself has like green tea and chamomile and other great yummy stuff for your skin, like most Chanel products have. So extra skin benefits when you use this, but I'll show you what they look like on the back of my hand because it really does a nice job just adding a little bit of a glow to your skin. And then of course I'll do a powder highlight on top, because recently I've been getting so many compliments on my skin and my highlighter, and I think it's probably a combination of my powder highlighter, but then also the Radiance Primer and then the liquid illuminator. And you can see this hand has nothing, it's very flat, but this hand has that radiance and it catches the light, so it's going to help your foundation to photograph beautifully, last longer, and just have the appearance of a healthy glow without adding oil. So if you're combination to oily like me, you'll be set. But the other thing about this foundation is because it's matte, when you mix in these products, it really gives you a nice balance. If you were to do that with a super dewy foundation, it might get a little bit tricky, but I think because this is so matte and so full coverage, when you add in the primer and the liquid illuminator, it's not too much. So you don't have to worry about going overboard with your radiance. So of all the reasons that I love this foundation, I would say the #1 reason is just that it does everything it says it's going to do, and it checks all of the boxes. For the first time, I feel like I have a foundation that is perfect for my skin. No buts, no exceptions. The Power Fabric foundation almost captures everything I love from all of my favorite Chanel foundations and then puts it into one bottle. Because I can't say, you know, with the discontinuing of Perfection, you know, Lumiere, I can't say that there's one Chanel foundation that does everything. This is matte, which is great for me, just like the Perfection Lumiere Velvet. It's got a very lightweight, almost like just your natural skin feel, like the Vita Lumiere Aqua. It's got full coverage, like Les Beige, and it's long wearing, like the long wear. But unlike Chanel's long wear foundation, the Ultra Tenue, this doesn't dry super fast. It's not sticky or tacky. There's not any sort of like weird application that you have to get down or else it doesn't work. And I also find that with the Power Fabric, blending is really easy. It's not a problem. Unlike the other foundation or the long wear from Chanel, where it dries and then it really doesn't budge. So you have to be very careful about blending on top because it might start breaking up on you. And that's not to hate on Chanel foundations, because I still love them, I will still wear them, but I've really been using my Le Beige foundation because it's got a natural matte finish and it's full coverage. But the one thing I will say is that at the end of the day, I feel like I have a lot of makeup on. Whereas with the Power Fabric, the one, benefit that, again, there are no exceptions, is I will say that not only is it matte, full coverage, etc., 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 go down the list, at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm wearing a mask of makeup, or I have to take my nails and drag them down my face to clean it. It really is lightweight, which is really nice. And it comes in so many shades, which I think is great. It's easy to match. It doesn't give off any sort of pink finish. This also will not oxidize throughout the day. So not that any of the Chanel foundations do. I know the Perfection Lumiere Velvet oxidizes, but a few of them, they have a more pink undertone, whereas with this foundation, you can get neutral undertones, so it's not going to come off looking really pink or looking like not your color, at the end of the day. It's just a beautiful foundation. It does everything. There's just, I wish I had been filming the very first time I wore it, because my mind was blown as I was applying for the first time. It was like, this is the foundation that I've been waiting for. I'm so happy that I have this foundation. So I'm so happy that I get to share this foundation with you, and hopefully you will try it, love it. Let me know what you think down below. But I'm giving this foundation the coveted 10 out of 10 stars, 100% Holy Grail award. And I know that sounds so cliche, Holy Grail products. I hate when people say that. But truly it is. I think that, as long as this foundation is on the market, this is going to be the foundation that I'm wearing. Not just date nights, not just special events, not just for photos. Even though it has SPF 25, you can definitely still use this for photo shoots. But it's light enough that you can actually wear it as an everyday foundation. I don't know any other foundation on the market that I can say those things about. If you have any suggestions, or if you're listening yeah, I know a foundation that does all of those things, tell me, list it down below. I want to know, what are your Holy Grail foundations, or what are your favorite products? I've tried so many. To me, this is so much better than anything else that comes in second place. It's light years above every other foundation that I've tried. When I say every other foundation, I mean a matte, full coverage, long wear foundation. I think it's unfair to, compare this to like a Vita Lumiere Aqua or even a Luminous Silk, because they're meant to do different things. But in its own category, I say this takes the cake every time. Thank you so much for watching my full review of the Power Fabric foundation. Hopefully you learned something new, or maybe you're excited to try it yourself. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, leave me any of your comments or questions down below. I'll also be listing the makeup products that I'm wearing down in the description box. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe.